Hello, I'm Michael Diamond. You're watching Muscle Central. Okay, with everything that's going on, and we have shows being canceled, postponed. The latest two, the New York Pro, the date has been moved up, actually moved back from May to August. The Toronto Pro has been canceled or postponed. I'm not sure whether it was just postponed or actually canceled, but it's not going to be held when originally planned. Now, those two are Olympia qualifiers. The Arnold Australia, which we didn't have, was also an Olympia qualifier. And right now, we don't know what's going to happen with the rest of the contest season. And these pro shows that are up in the air, they are qualifiers to get you into the Olympia. Now, depending on how soon things get back to normal, we might not have, we might only have a couple, if any, Olympia qualifiers. So, what's going to happen? Do we have a Mr. Olympia? And the other question is, let's say as we're rolling closer to the Olympia, things haven't changed much, and we still can't have these large public gatherings. Can we still hold the Olympia, and how can we hold the Olympia? Well, as far as the athletes qualifying, I mentioned it before, an alternative is like with the Arnold Classic. The Arnold Classic is invite only. The promoters, the people running the show, sit down and they decide who they want in the show and they invite them. Now, you can do the same thing with Mr. Olympia if need be. Jim Mannion, Steve Weinberger, powers to be, the people running the whole show sit down and decide who they feel are the best athletes that are actively competing and invite them. Now, we already have 5 qualified competitors, last year's top 5, and we send out invites for the rest of them. But then if at that time, when the Olympia arrives, if we still can't have large gatherings, is there anything else we can do? Yeah, probably. You don't need the same large venue that houses, that can hold this large audience. You can rent a smaller venue. Well, you don't need it because you're not going to have a large audience. You're not going to have an audience because we can't allow these gatherings. You can rent a smaller venue and you run the competition. You have the competitors there, the judges there, and some other officials. Probably the coaches will be there. They maybe allow some family members in, but it's a smaller, controlled atmosphere. Now, what about spectators? They've been doing it for a long time in other sporting events. You have it in boxing, you have it in wrestling. You can run a pay-per-view. $10, $15, maybe even $20 a pop. I don't know. They'll have to figure out what they need to charge to at least not take a loss. Do a pay-per-view. And like you have television shows, one way they make their money is with commercials. You can have the companies that normally help sponsor the show. You run like you do a regular television show. You run commercials for the sponsors, and you can still pull off the event. Granted, it's for the people who would normally go and watch the event. It's not the same feeling as if you were there at the live event. But if you're a hardcore fan and that scenario is not allowed, there's no way to hold a show in a large venue with an audience because of what's going on. Your only other alternative would be to run it pay-per-view and run commercials for the sponsors, and that's about it. You have a way to still hold the show. You don't want to cancel it. The Olympia has been, since its insertion, has been run every year, even going back to 2001 with the 9/11 tragedy. That occurred just a few weeks before the Olympia took place, and there were travel restrictions right after 9/11, but the show still went on. Yes, it wasn't what we have now, where at this point we can't have a large gathering, but it was a serious situation, and they still ran the show. It'd be a shame to see the Olympia, which has all this tradition behind it, not to be held. And like I said, if worst case scenario, you don't have qualifying shows and you don't have the go ahead to allow people to gather in an auditorium and have a large audience, we do have an alternative. Pay-per-view. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section, whether you think it's a good idea or not. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please share, and by all means subscribe. Do not forget to hit that notification bell. This way, every time I put up a new video, you will be notified. Once again, this is Michael Diamond, and I'd like to thank you for watching Muscle Central.